Hello everyone, Prasad Domala here. Today I'll show you how to install and configure Oracle SOA Suite 12c, that is 12.2.1.0 version. Please note that this is not the development environment setup. I'll be doing another video on how to set up SOA development environment for SOA composite application development. Today I'll be setting up a single node SOA environment. As always, first let me tell you the environment and software I'll be using today. I'm using Oracle Linux 6.7 64-bit virtual machine and VMware Workstation Player 12 to run it. I have Oracle Database 12.1.0.2 version and JDK 1.8 version already installed on my virtual machine. And we'll be using Fusion middleware infrastructure 12.2.1.0, which installs WebLogic 12c, Oracle Common and Repository Creation Utility. For this release of SOA Suite, we don't need to install WebLogic and RCU separately like we do for 11G versions of SOA Suite. WebLogic and RCU will be installed as part of infrastructure installation. And finally, we'll be installing 12.2.1.0 version of Oracle SOA Suite. So let's start with Fusion middleware infrastructure installation. I'm in my software directory here, and these are the jar files required, one for infrastructure and one for our SOA Suite. At this point, we need to make sure that Java executable is added in path environment variable and the Java home is set. So my Java home is already set. I'll just check the Java path. This is the right path. Once your Java is set, you can start with the infrastructure installation, which installs WebLogic, Oracle Common and Repository Creation Utility. Execute the installer by running java -jar and then the jar file name. Okay, this is the welcome screen. You can click next on the welcome screen. Then you can skip the auto updates. Click next here. Next, you need to specify the location of your Fusion middleware home. I'm giving mine as U01 app Oracle product FMW. And click next here. Here you can select Fusion middleware infrastructure installation. If you want to install infrastructure along with examples, you can select the second option, but I'm going ahead with the first option here. You can click next. Make sure the prerequisite checks are successful and click next. You can skip the security updates here. Confirm by clicking yes. Then this is the installation summary screen. You can save the response file if you want for future silent installations and click install. This installation should take a couple of minutes. I'll pause the video here and come back when it's done. Okay, as you can see, the installation process is complete now. Make sure all the steps are successful. Click next. This is the installation complete screen. You can click finish here. So the Fusion middleware infrastructure installation is now complete. Next, we'll do the SOA Suite installation. So from the software directory, execute the Java command again. Java -jar and then the SOA jar file. Okay, this is the SOA Suite installation welcome screen. Click next here. You can skip the auto updates. Then you need to provide the installation home. So you need to provide the same middleware home used during the infrastructure installation. So in my case, it would be U01 app Oracle product FMW. So if you click view here, it will show you the existing contents of that particular middleware home. So as we have already installed the infrastructure, you can see the core application server and other components in the same middleware home. So you can click next here. Here you have two options. You can either choose SOA Suite or BPM. Selecting SOA Suite installs standard SOA topology. If you want to include BPM as well, select the second option. Please note that selecting BPM will install SOA Suite as well. So if you wish to add BPM later, you can run the installer again and select BPM, which will add BPM functionality to the existing SOA topology. So I'm going ahead with SOA Suite installation. If you select BPM, you can see the additional component will be added, but the core SOA components will not be changed. So I'm clicking SOA Suite here and click next. Make sure the prerequisite checks are successful. Click next. This is the installation summary screen. We can save the response file for future installations. Click install. I'll pause the video here again and I'll get back when it's done. Okay, as you can see, the installation process is complete. You can click next here. This is the installation complete screen and click finish. Now the SOA Suite binary installation is complete. The next step is to create the repository for SOA. So to create the repository, we need to make sure that the database is up and running. Let me quickly start my database. Okay, my database is up and running now. As I said earlier, RCU will be installed under Oracle Common as part of infrastructure installation. So navigate to Oracle Common's bin directory and execute RCU. In my case, it would be U01 app Oracle product FMW and then Oracle Common bin and then execute RCU. Okay, this is repository creation utilities welcome screen. You can click next here. As you can see, we have two options. We can either create the repository or drop the repository. In our case, it would be create repository. You have three options to create the repository, and there are two steps in repository creation: system load and product load. System load requires sysdba privileges. Select the first option if you have sysdba privileges, which performs both system load and product load. If your DBAs are not willing to give you sysdba access, you can select option 2 to generate SQL scripts for system load, and you can give the generated SQL scripts to your DBA to execute them as sysdba. We did not have this option in older versions, and the DBAs are not very comfortable in giving sysdba access to middleware teams, so it's good that we have this option now. After the system load is performed, using the SQL scripts, you can run the RCU again and select the third option, which performs the product load. I'm going ahead with option 1 as I have sysdba privileges, so I'm selecting that and click next here. Here you need to provide your database details. In my case, the host name would be localhost, port 1521, service name pdb orcl dot local domain. Here you need to provide the pluggable database service name. Username would be sys and my sys password. Click next. So now the global prerequisite check will be done. Make sure everything is successful here and click OK. Now you need to provide a prefix for your schema. So I'll call my prefix as SOA, and then you need to select SOA infrastructure from the component list. As you can see, as soon as you select SOA infrastructure, all additional schema will be selected automatically. You can click next here. And then the component specific prerequisite check will be performed. Make sure all the checks are successful here and click OK. Next, you need to provide password for your schema. You can either provide a same password for all your schema, or you can use a different password for each schema. I'm going ahead with same password for all schema and click next. Here you need to specify the custom variables. Database profile can be small, medium or large. If you specify small or medium, RCU will not perform any special actions. But if you specify database profile as large, RCU does some extra actions. It basically creates the SOA infrastructure schema using an Oracle database feature called interval partitioning. So interval partitioning improves the efficiency of the database when large numbers of composite applications are deployed to your SOA suite. So in production environments, you can select the database profile based on your size of your environment. And if you are integrating with healthcare, you can specify this parameter as yes. I'm going ahead with the default values, small and no, and click next. These are the table spaces that will be created for your schema. You can leave them as default, or if you want to change them, you can click on manage table spaces here, and you can change the properties of each schema separately. I'm leaving them as default. Click next. Then you need to confirm to create the table spaces. Click OK. Then the table space creation process will start. Once it's complete, click OK. And this is the summary screen. Verify all the details here. You can click create. Okay, the repository creation process is now complete. So make sure the status of all the components is success. Then click close. Now the repository creation process is complete. Next, we need to create and configure a domain for SOA. So we need to run the configuration script from Oracle common bin. So navigate to Oracle common bin and run config.sh. Now the configuration wizard will start. Here you need to select create new domain, and you need to provide a location for your domain. So I'll call my domain as SOA domain. Then click next. And on the template screen, the basic WebLogic server domain will be selected by default. In our case, we need to select Oracle SOA Suite, and the other dependent templates will be selected automatically. So the dependent templates are Oracle Enterprise Manager, Oracle WSM Policy Manager, Oracle JRF, that is Java required files, and then WebLogic Coherence Cluster extension. And click next here. Next, you need to specify the application location for your SOA domain. So I'm leaving the default location, that is under user projects, applications, and then SOA domain. If you want, you can change this application location here and click next. Next, we need to provide the administrator username and password. I'm leaving the username as WebLogic and provide my password. And click next. So here you need to specify the domain mode and JDK. The domain mode I am selecting as production mode, and the JDK path is fine. Click next. Here you need to specify the RCU data. So my DBMS service name would be pdborcl.local domain. Host name would be localhost. Then port 1521. The schema owner, you need to specify your prefix, whatever you have provided during your repository creation. In my case, it's SOA, so instead of dev, I'm giving it as SOA, and leave the rest as it is, and then your schema password, and click on Get RCU configuration. Now it will connect to your database server and retrieve all the schema details. So you can see the status here. Retrieving schema data from database server is okay, and then building local schema components for retrieved data is okay. Make sure all these 3 steps are successful and click next. This is the list of your schema. Make sure all the details are correct here and click next. Now all the schema will be tested. Make sure all the connectivity tests are successful and click next. You can leave the default key store here, and then you need to configure administration server, node manager, and manage servers. So select these 3 options here and click next. Then you need to provide the administration server details. I'm leaving server name as default. Listen address is fine. The port number is also fine. If you want to enable SSL, you can check this checkbox and then provide your SSL listen port. For my demo, I'm not checking that. Again, click next here. Next, you need to provide node manager specific details. I'm going ahead with per domain default location option here. So the default location for your node manager will be under your domain node manager directory. You need to provide the username and password for your node manager. So I'll just call it as nmadmin, and then my node manager password. Oops. Okay, click next. Next, you need to specify the managed servers. So the SOA managed server will be created automatically. That is SOA_server1. If you want to change the name, you can do it here. The listen address is fine, all local addresses. And then if you want to change the port, you can do it. I'm leaving the default 7003 port. And click next. Then this is the cluster screen. If you want to add any clusters, if you are building your environment for production, and if you are building multi-node environments, you can create the cluster and add all the members into the cluster. For my demo, I'm not creating any clusters here. So click next. And then same goes with coherence clusters. Next, you need to create a machine. Machine is nothing but your node manager. So click the Unix machine tab here, and then click the add button. You can name your machine. I'm just calling it as Unix machine _1, and then leave the default port as it is. Now you need to add these servers to the machine we just created. So I'm adding admin server and SOA server as well, and click next. This is the configuration summary screen. You can verify the details here and click create. The domain creation process starts. So it should take a couple of minutes to create the domain. As you can see, the domain creation process is complete now. It took around 5 minutes. So click next here. This is the end of configuration screen. It will give you the domain location and the admin server URL as well. So click finish here. So before accessing the administration console, we need to start up the domain. So let's do that. So before starting the domain, you need to set a boot.properties file for administration server. So go to your domain directory. That would be under user projects, domain, and then SOA domain. So here you need to create a security directory for admin server and create boot.properties file inside your security directory. So I'm creating a security directory under servers and then my admin server name /security. Then create boot.properties file inside security. So in the boot.properties file, you need to provide your WebLogic administrator username and password. That is, username is equal to WebLogic and then password is equal to your WebLogic password. Save this file. Now you can start up the domain. So to start the domain, you can execute no hub and then start weblogic.sh. This will start the WebLogic in the background. So you can check the log. Wait for the domain to start completely. Okay, as you can see, the server started in running mode. Next, we need to start the node manager. So you can start the node manager from your domain's bin directory. Here you have a script called as start node manager.sh. So execute that. Wait for the node manager to start completely. Okay, you can see that the listener started on port 5556. So our node manager is up and running now. Now let's access the administration console and start our SOA managed server. So our admin console will be running on port 7001/console. Log in with your WebLogic ID. So this is your WebLogic administration console. Navigate to environment, servers. You can see the admin server is in running state. Now let's start our SOA managed server. Go to control tab, select your managed server and then click start. Click yes. So to start your managed server from the administration console, your node manager should be up and running. Wait for your SOA server to start completely. Okay, as you can see, my SOA managed server is in running state now. It took approximately 7 minutes for my managed server to start. Now let's check out the EM console. That is the enterprise manager console. So it will be running on port 7001/EM. So this is your EM console login page. You can log in with your WebLogic ID. Okay, this is your enterprise manager's home page. As you can see, the look and feel is completely changed from the 11G versions. Let's check out the worklist app console now. So it will be running on your SOA managed server / integration / worklist app. Log in with your WebLogic ID. Okay, this is your BPM worklist app homepage. And that's it. You now have a fully functional Oracle SOA 12c environment. You can now create your SOA partitions and deploy your SOA composite applications on your new SOA environment. I'll be making a video on setting up SOA development environment and creating a sample SOA composite application from scratch. So please do subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified once it goes live. Please check my blog for all the commands I used in this video along with screenshots. I'll leave the link in the description. Hope you all liked the video and found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.